Well, I'm grateful that all of you are here. That's wonderful. I guess we should get started so that we don't run late. It's 7 o'clock, and we want to get Peter off to sleepy time as soon as possible. And so,
Amen.
excellent. So, thank you for being here. I had asked Ashley if she would open the meeting this evening. So, Ashley, the floor is yours.
Okay, as long as I'm not stepping on Peter's toes.
Oh, not at all.
Okay, will you bow your heads and hearts with me? Gracious and loving God, we give thanks for your mighty love, your beautiful creation, for the forgiveness and beauty that we recognize in every day, for the freedom that you gave us through the life of Jesus, and for the call to be witnesses in these grievous times, and agents of love, justice, and light. We give thanks for this opportunity to gather, bless our time together. Let Holy Spirit move among us, and let us listen for your still voice speaking to us, that we may be discerning what you would have for us to do and how you would have us serve and bless your people across this country through our music and through our witness. In the name of Jesus, I pray, and in the name of all that is holy. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Um, so Donna had sent the minutes out, and I found a few things that I asked her to change, and so she did, and then she sent them out again, and I appreciate that. So were there any questions or problems or concerns? All right, those in favor of approving her September minutes, wave your little hands at us. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Jim's here. Good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Is it raining where you are?
Yes, it's storming pretty heavily, so it's supposed to be a nor'easter. Thank God it's not about 20 degrees colder.
Very
So
true.
we're only
Very
going to get
true.
rain out of this one, which is good.
Yes, exactly. All right. So the floor is yours. You sent out a whole pile of reports, which is wonderful.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay.
I I read them and thought they were great. What's your general feeling about life?
Life is good. Life is good.
All the time.
So I won't go in through all the details here. We had some renewed memberships. So our CDs are pulling in pretty good interest. One of our CDs comes due next month, and it's a 7-month CD. I'm going to renew it uh, at the same face value that we had originally deposited. I'm going to take the income that we've received as interest, and I'm going to put that in our savings account because we'll probably be needing that for our budget for later this year. But the original amount, which is the endowment portion of it, as well as in combination with the conference money that is reserved as well, I'll renew that for another 7 months. This way, it will be coming due in May next year. And that's about the time when I'm anticipating if we do need funds for the conference, that's when I'm going to get them out and put them aside and use them for the conference should we need them. So that's the big issue there. That's coming on November 14th. So I'll be prepared to put that back in. Uh, the one thing that's a little bit of a concern as I'm putting together the budget figures in mind, I'm going to send this off to Eric later on this month in preparation for our budget approval next year or for next year at our next meeting. Number of our members have opted to do the 2-year membership, which is terrific. It means that we get a pretty good amount of revenue this year, but next year we're not going to get anything from them. And so that's going to mean, okay, what exactly are we going to be getting as far as membership? So I think we are going to have to make a push for additional members as well as for donations in the future so that we can keep our budget. I'm not sure we can cut out very much as far as expenses. So we're going to have to use some judicial judgment here on what we're going to be doing in the future, but we're going to have to make a push for membership as well as donations for next year.
Yes. It could be said that we might have more members joining next year because of the conference, and that might handle some of that. But you are right, you know, that can be a problem, and that's why we're going to do a very strong push for new members over the course of the next well, at least 6, 8 months, 9 months maybe, toward pushing toward the conference. Trying to get a little more grassroots level type of campaign going here. So, but I appreciate that concern, Jim. Thank you. Ed, what were you going to say?
I haven't checked the membership enrollments or renewals, but I mean, it's perfectly possible that next year there'll be people who a year ago renewed for 2 years who will be renewing. So I'm not sure if we can say just because we had a lot of 2-year renewals this year, if we'd had a lot of 2-year renewals the year before, they'll all be coming due this year.
Right.
So maybe I can look into the membership and see if I come up with any numbers about that.
Would that be helpful for you to know, Jim?
Yes, that would be great because this way here I can give right now, the number that's in there for the budget is just like, okay, that's a good number. Let's put that one in. So at least if I had some numbers for memberships or potential renewals for next year, then I could get a better idea of what we could possibly anticipate for dues for next year.
Mhm. Yeah, that would, anything you could funnel toward Jim, Ed, would be helpful, I think. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Also, then we'll have the numbers for next month's meeting. Whether we want to vote on it in November at the November meeting, I don't know. How is that legal, Joan? In our bylaws, do we have to sit with the budget for any time period before we approve it?
I'm not aware of that.
I wasn't aware of it either. But if we don't feel like approving it next month, we can always do it electronically after that. But I wouldn't see why we couldn't look at the budget for next month and you know, discuss it and then vote on it. Do you anticipate being able to send it out before next month's meeting, Jim?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, all right. So we would encourage you everybody to read the budget and you know, make any questions, comments, or concerns known at next month's meeting. Okay. Anything about the insurance thing, Jim?
No, I haven't had any additional work on the insurance for this month
Okay.
yet.
All right. Do you mind if I keep putting that there to remind
Sure.
us? Is
Yeah,
that okay? All right.
yes.
Good. So let me try and run through my things quickly here. The enlarging the footprint. I talked with Cheryl Lindsay at the national level by email and set up a meeting with her, a Zoom meeting with her later in the month of October. Is that something, Ashley, that you'd like to be a part of?
I'm sorry, when is the date?
I don't know. I have to check my calendar. That's on Tuesday, the 21st. But
That's my, go
it's
ahead.
at 10:30 in the morning, so that Eastern time, so that's probably not good for you. That would be like 3 in the morning for you, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's my birthday, and I will be
It's your birthday.
traveling.
Oh.
So I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. I just want to talk with her about the general focus of where we'd like to go and how we want to communicate and so forth. Yes, Amanda?
Um, I was grabbing my calendar, so I didn't hear the details, but I might actually like to attend that meeting if you're willing.
Oh, it's fine with me.
So you said it
It
was,
was October the 21st at 10:30
okay,
in the
so that,
morning
hang on, let me just,
Eastern
so that's Tuesday, is that right?
Tuesday, the 21st,
And what time is it?
10:30 a.m. Eastern.
Okay, so it would be 8:30 my time.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, actually, I would like to attend that if you're amenable, so if you can just
Yeah.
include me on the link.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
Eric, I would also, Eric, and I'm going to see her in Ottawa on the 23rd and 24th.
Okay. Do
I
you
will
want to
see
be
her
on,
in person, but I would like to be at that meeting.
you want to be on the meeting as well?
I would like to,
Then I will
I would
include,
if that's okay.
I will include both of you on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Are you going to be able to set up a Zoom meeting, Eric?
I think, well, I can set up a Zoom meeting here, yes.
And run it
mhm.
on the UCCMA account?
Or I can do it on my church account here.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, yeah, so I'm
Okay.
okay with that. Thank you.
Oh,
Joan.
okay.
I compiled the numbers of churches and UCCMA members in each conference and sent that out to you with the conference addresses and the conference ministers and all that kind of stuff. Only because I was interested in how our membership is dispersed amongst the conferences and whether we had enough members in conferences to do a grassroots contact list of people who might be willing to help us disseminate UCCMA knowledge to people in that conference. It was just a preliminary waste of time on my part to try and get some perspective on things. I didn't know if there was any thoughts from you as people who are out there in other conferences as to how we might go to the grassroots level and get people to start talking at that level between each other and encouraging membership as much as possible. If you have any ideas about that at this point. Yes, Amanda.
So if this has already come up, please forgive me, but one thing that had struck me is if any UCCMA members are going to either their annual conference meeting or their annual association meeting or both, would we be interested in creating some kind of letter to our membership, encouraging them to do that, providing them with electronic brochures or something along that line? Have we already talked about that idea?
No, that's a good idea.
It's a good idea. Yeah.
So yeah, but I really think that that the board should craft some sort of communication to facilitate this being done in a productive way, whether that's including brochures or generating some like a short script that someone could use and bring to the gathering. And I cannot volunteer to do that, but I don't think it would be that hard to do.
Right, right. Well, now Joan is an AI expert.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm going to be feeding all my correspondence through Joan because she has this AI thing that's going. No, I'm kidding.
No,
But
really,
what you sent me was really quite wonderful, and so
it's amazing what it does. Takes some ordinary little thing and makes it special.
it
So
does make it special.
we could just feed in a few paragraphs even from our website, whatever, and
Right.
turn it into a
So, yeah,
flyer.
we should discuss that as a way of doing that. Thank you very much. And you as board members could also get involved with that when it comes to any meetings that you go to or anything you preside over, or, that kind of thing. We do have the, printed brochures. We do have an electronic version of the printed brochures. And we're going to talk in a little bit about the website and how we might make that a little more welcoming and accessible. So anything else that strikes you at this point? Okay, then let's move on. I sent out 12 new welcome letters to new people, 9 renewal encouragement letters to people. We had, from the first batch that I sent out, we've had 2 or 3 responses in membership, new members. So hey, anything's good at this point. I really think that we should work toward 250 non-complimentary members. We're sitting at about 150 right now, and I think that we really should push hard to up the membership, and it's going to take some personal contact. Okay, I went through the Penn Central Conference where I live and work. I went through the Penn Central Conference. They had 171 churches, and I went through all the churches on the Access site and made a list of those that had websites and the people who are musicians in their churches. And I did a little delving and diving to find out what's happening. And I've got 4 pages of my yellow pad here of churches and specific musicians that I can contact. So I probably have, I don't know, probably well over 100 out of the 171 where I have actual people that I can talk to. And I'm going to go ahead now at this point and start sending information out to them on this local level and see what kind of response we can get. Some of these people I know really well, and they aren't members and should be. And so I'm going to try and shame them into becoming members. And so I would encourage you to do the same thing. If you have friends, acquaintances, colleagues in the area, I would encourage you to talk to them individually, call them, send them emails, whatever it takes. And if you think you need like information from us, the brochures or anything like that, let us know. In the meantime, we'll try and come up with a packet of information or a bunch of information for dissemination to conferences and associations and that kind of thing, where you can proselytize there. Because I think we just need to reach out. If we expect people to come to us, we've got to go out to them first. And if that's possible, I think we need to start that process rolling. Greg Chestnut sent a really wonderful email last week to us, to some of us anyway. I don't know if all of you got it, talking about giving a $25 membership discount to any current member who gets somebody else on board on a regular paying membership, as opposed to the 90-day free trial. So, the institutional or the 2-year or the 1-year memberships, that we would give them a break on their membership cost if they bring in a single member of maybe $25 or whatever it happens to be. I thought, gee, what a wonderful idea. I hadn't thought of that. It would be an incentive for people to go out and get their acquaintances to be a part of the thing. You have any ideas or thoughts on that matter at all? Does that sound interesting to you? I don't know how we would do it accountability wise, accounting wise. But I would love to hear what you have to think or what you have to say about
it is a great idea. And one of the things I am trying to grapple through my mind is, okay, so how do we make that happen on the back end? You know, we could give them a credit for certain for the following year,
it. Yeah,
but
I
to
think that's
actually
the
give
way.
a rebate back from this year might be a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I don't think we would do that. I think it would have to be a credit for next year, for the next year's membership or the, whenever their membership came due the next time. If they brought two people in who are actually paying members, then, maybe they get $50 off their next membership. It's worth trying.
We can give them a discount code. And
Yeah.
then when
And
then when they
again,
renew,
there would have to be a thing on somewhere on the new membership application that says who are you going to credit for bringing you into the membership or that kind of thing.
Mhm.
But I think it's worth considering, and as we're moving toward the conference next year, that might be a way of getting more people involved as well. But
I think it's a
again,
great incentive. I'm going to chime in here because I used to be a ticketing professional before I started raising money. So I'm
mhm,
going to put my ticketing brain on. If we have a platform that can support that, like the referral, I think it's great. I think 25 is too steep, and maybe that's just my cold heart. So I'm curious to hear from other people. And I would strongly encourage some disclaimer language that says, limit to referrals per renewal of membership or whatever it is, so you don't have somebody. I mean, I don't know. That's just me thinking. If we think somebody's really going to bring 10 people in and be like, woohoo, I have free membership, and we're okay with that, and we have a way to track it, fantastic. Do we have the Joan, you spoke to discount codes. That sounds like that's completely feasible through Wild Apricot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that's the easiest way to do it. I mean, I think,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on cross-referencing? I don't know that people are going to be dishonest in this circumstance and like send it to their friends if we distribute a code. Do we have the capability of
Oh.
limiting it? And what are your thoughts?
Oh, we can limit them, can't we? A certain number.
Or
Yeah.
do unique? If it's
okay, well,
Well,
I don't know that
yeah.
we need to get into the logistical weeds here. We can work that
Yep.
out at some point, but I'm just going for the concept here. Do we
Mhm,
think,
yep.
do we think that this is something we should consider?
Yes.
In this
Mhm.
push to get lots of members?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And again, any other ideas like this, that you have, that come to you in the midst of your everyday lives and you want to send it to us, please do. Write it down. Keep a pad next to your bed in case you wake up and think of these things in the middle of the night.
Can I
Whatever.
ask another membership question?
Sure.
Uh, do we, aside from the 90-day trial, are there people, how many people do we have with like a complimentary membership?
How many have a compliment?
Or is that even a thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Yes,
is.
yes, it
Okay,
is a
I
thing.
thought
It's
so.
like 45 or, all the conference offices are.
Every conference office,
So
So
it's a
that's like-
fair amount.
Yeah.
Do we think there's
It's presently 46.
46? All
Yes.
right. From the fundraising side of things, I'm thinking, is there an opportunity to use some sort of language when we send out member renewals or we're sending communications to promote new renewals to give people the opportunity to sponsor a membership?
how so?
Well, if we know that there are people that are being given free memberships because of financial reasons or otherwise, Do we think there are people in the community that would feel moved to give to try to cover those costs so that we're not absorbing it?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
To sponsor a comp position, a comp membership.
Because it sounds to me like there's a desire. There are people in our community that are utilizing the membership and are benefiting from it that don't have the means to pay the $85. But there might be other members who, to think about it in that kind of way, that's creating that culture of philanthropy among the memberships. I don't want to compete because we're trying to raise money, but we're also
Right.
trying to build out
Well,
membership. So I'm trying to kind of think creatively there.
we kind of do that already with the scholarship fund. We have the
Okay.
scholarship fund for giving money to folk for the conference to defray
Right.
conference costs. And I'm not exactly sure how that works when it comes to disseminating that money. We'll
Okay.
have to talk about that at some point in the future. Jim and Don and Joan and Ed and, you know, whoever's done that in the past, because I don't really get that yet. But that's the, you know, I guess if people are putting money toward a benevolent support of somebody else who doesn't have the funding, that's what we've been doing so far when it comes to the conference.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that we've ever done it with memberships in general. We just have said, oh yes, you know, you were one of our founding members. You deserve to have a complimentary membership because you were one of our founding members who really should, you know, and may not have been up to paying the membership or whatever it happened to be. And in a lot of cases, some of those comp memberships of people who were founding members or early members or whatever, they tend to give money. They tend to donate money to the uh, fundraising, the giving day that we have
Oh, okay.
during the year as well. So some of those comps, most of those comps are not due to financial need.
Okay.
I think they're more due to, you know, saints of the church kind of thing.
Got it. That answers my question. It was just something to consider.
Okay.
Even
Okay.
for the spring campaign, I mean, we'll need some sort of hook too, because it sounds to me like we're, in general, if we're trying to build that endowment to become self-sustaining so that there is no membership fee, maybe this is a place to start that narrative to get it in
Yeah.
people's heads,
Yeah.
to get them excited about it.
Yeah.
Something to think about. We do not have to solve this tonight.
No, and that's fine. I'm just looking for ideas and concepts here that may have you go away, all of you go away thinking, okay, how can I make that work? What can I do? How can we, you know, build on that and see if it makes a difference. Okay. And if there's anything else about membership, Joan, did you want to say something?
Um, what about a wish list? A lot of organizations have wish lists for actual things.
Okay.
Would
Do we have
people,
things that we want?
well, pay for a membership, sponsor a presenter at the conference,
Yeah.
help pay commission and anthem.
Okay.
And Annalise just mentioned sponsor another member.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a wish list thing.
I love it. Joan, and you, Joan, you sent me a really thoughtful email that I read right before I hopped on this call. So I didn't have time to from a fundraising standpoint, I love that. We call that impact language kind of in our world where you can say for $15 is the cost of one student to participate in this program. Or at Open Arms, it's $11 a meal. So for $8,008, you can feed one of our clients for a full year. And then we break it down for, you know, the first 3 weeks when you're getting your diagnosis. And that's part of how we tell the story and inspire it. I think it's a great idea. And I would love to brainstorm more with you on like what our actual operational costs are. I want to be careful with the language. I think where we are as an organization, we want to be really intentional to try to put as much into the general fund and support operating costs as opposed to restricted gifts. I have definitely bumped up against this in my professional career where everybody wants to give to like the one scholarship because it really resonates and they're thinking of the children and all that, but then we're not raising money to actually do some of the back end things. And I will send you all, we do this really clever thing called a gift catalog that if you're familiar with like Heifer International or an organization like that, where around the holidays they come up with, buy chickens for this village of folks so that they can become, have a more sustainable food source. We did something really similarly, but my colleagues are very, very clever in the way they positioned it. So it's all operating. And there's even language in there that says any gifts above and beyond, like if we hit the value of something that's on our wish list, any gifts made in this direction above and beyond will be used to support the general operations of Open Arms and making sure that we keep food going to the people who need it most. So I think you're onto something. That was the long way around, but I love how you're thinking.
Good. I know that the Hymn Society, when they do their summer conferences, they have sponsors for sessions and sponsors for different aspects of their schedule that they do as well. Because I've often toyed with the idea of having or thought about, the UCCMA could sponsor a session at the Hymn Society and, and get our name in there as well. But they get a little steep, some of those, $500 to $1,000 to sponsor those things. So anyway, have we exhausted that one?
Sure.
Should we move on?
Yes.
Okay. I sent out a bunch more emails, please, to people about membership concierge. It's not happening. So that's why I've kind of taken this on myself. So please understand that I'm being obnoxious about this because there's nobody else to be obnoxious. And then the communication with other groups that's kind of been on hold this month. The board member, we had said give us some thought about a composition board member. Is there somebody, do we think that that's a position that we need to fill to encourage composition, to encourage that kind of thing? It used to be a part of the board. It is no longer. I don't know that that's a position that we need to reassess or whatever. But again, we don't have
Well,
to.
do you want just a little history?
Yeah, go ahead.
A long time ago, there were people, the board recognized that there were people out there writing their own compositions, some of them, professional, some of them amateur, and kind of put together a group where they support each other. And for a couple of conferences, they would come together and compare their compositions and provide advice to each other. And we would have a composition expert there to manage the group. And so it, for a little while, had a cohesion of its own. And we heard from them in the newsletter and stuff. And at one conference, they put together a whole booklet of a bunch of their conferences. And I think Ed used one for an anthem, Patricia, whatever, in Vermont.
Patricia, yeah.
But then then it landed in Keith Hampton's hands, and he didn't want to take that approach at all. He wanted to find, compositions and commission compositions and that kind of thing. So that cohesive group, it just kind of fell apart. And I don't know if those kind of people are still out there.
A lot of people are self-publishing these days, and I don't know what the need for that kind of thing is, and I'm not in that circle of people who compose and author things. So if you have any ideas about that, let me know. Other than that, we'll let this slide. If I don't hear, a strong opinion from somebody about
Well, can we ask in a newsletter, is there anyone out there interested in composition? And would you like to,
right?
If we put together some kind of
Right.
informal group or something?
Right. I'm also hoping that in the long run, working at a grassroots level, association or conference level, will encourage networking at that level so that people might want to consider doing regional events, regional UCCMA events for people in their area that would be beneficial, and also then gain support of even more musicians in their general region. So, they used to do more of that earlier on. I think that's one way of reaching out to people at the grassroots level by offering an event like that, a church music day, or a weekend or whatever it happens to be. So that's ultimately, I would like to start pushing that kind of thing as well, and see if there's anybody out there who would like to get a bunch of church musicians together to share and to network. Okay.
Am I the only composer slash hymn writer on the board right now, or do some of you do that and I just don't know it? You do, okay. Yeah, I mean, I had been thinking a little bit about whether any of us on the board who have other standard board roles, but also do some of that, could in some way at some point engage with the question. I mean, even if that were not our board title, but and this is not a good moment in my life for that, but I thought it was just worth asking.
Good. All right, well, let's keep that in the back of our minds and not abandon it. Newsletter coordination by Joan, due every month by the 22nd. Every other month is the main newsletter, but then you do a little supplement, not a little, but this month was not little, but it's good. It keeps everybody in contact, and that's what we're going for. So things are due to her by the 22nd. Anything you want to say about that?
No.
Okay. And website review, I sent a list out of things that I had seen in the website that I thought we should ask questions about. I sent that to you earlier this week, maybe week before, I don't know. It was at some point. And I did get back something from Annalise about a few things. And I think at some point we should probably talk about it in a smaller group to address these things with Ed and me and Joan and anybody else who wants to join in, about how to make that website experience easier, more welcoming, more functional for what we need. I'm not saying that the website's bad at all in the least. I think it's a very good website, but I think that we need to make sure that we are addressing the things that need to be addressed and keeping it up to date and so forth. As I go around and visit other organizations, I'm finding that there's some things that, they're just holes in places. And so I think we need to do that. So if you want to look at that and reflect on some of the questions that I put out there to start, and have any comments or updates or changes or suggestions, let us know. And then I think we need to set up a meeting at some point to see if we can make some things better. But I don't want to do that in our board meeting. Okay? That's just, we don't need to talk logistical things to that level.
I have a question about the website.
Yes, Ashley.
So when you go into the website, it says it's part of wildapricot.org.
Mm-hmm.
And what is that? Is that an organization that's hosting the website, or what is that?
Wild Apricot. Go ahead.
Wild Apricot is our website provider. I mean, it's their templates. It's their website. They're hosting it for us.
Okay.
And we do have our own domain name, ucma.org, but because of, I can't remember the reason, for some reason, there was some security issue that it was easier for us to just accept Wild Apricot, UCMA at Wild Apricot, putting both the names in for the website. and it saved us some money and saved us time trying to do some logistical paperwork. So it is a little more awkward, but yeah, that's just our website provider.
And Treva Stoes, who does a lot of our design, is part of the Wild Apricot family. Is that correct?
Yeah, she's in touch with them. Yeah,
Right. So she's the one that does the journal and a bunch of other things. So I guess, does she design a lot of the things that are on our website, or?
she has
Yes.
in
Yeah.
the past. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And by making things a little more uniform when they go out to the membership, like the newsletters and the announcements and all that kind of thing, that kind of stays the same.
Right.
Not that we can't revisit that at some point, but was that your concern, Ashley?
I didn't have a concern per se, but I was just noticing that
Yeah.
in websites I've set up for others who are hosted by different domains, there's sometimes an option where you just check a box and I forget what it's called, but it's like a domain holder, so it keeps the name of the organization. Like in this case, it would be UCCMA in the browser, and you don't see the secondary organization as a sponsor. I just notice it because I'm very aware of the spoofs and the kinds of scams that are going on, and anytime I go to a website and then realize that I'm on a different website that has a page, it concerns me in terms of security issues. So that's why I asked.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
And that may concern people who come to the website and say, hey, what's
Yeah,
happening?
who's this?
Okay, it's something we should address then.
I think it costs money to get just our own name. I think that was the issue.
That could very well be.
On the other hand, if you just Google or you try to go to acma.org, I mean, it'll take you to this page, but that was your point, that it has a different name when you get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Moving on down the line here, Andy Blosser said that he couldn't be here tonight. He sent me something to read to you. He said he's unable to join the meeting and he's sorry. I don't really have a major update other than they're continuing to confirm clinicians and presenters. They have a save the date card that's been printed and will be taken to the Convergent Arts Conference this coming Thursday. And I know that Amanda's going to that. Are you staying for the whole thing, Amanda? Okay. He said, I will contact Amanda with Dr. Glenn Mills, their pastor, and Janelle Rogers, their contemporary music coordinator, who will be in attendance. So they'll get together with you, and if you guys want to set off fireworks about UCCMA, that would be great. Thank you for being our point people on that. So then chaplain's report, Peter.
Well,
Oh,
before,
I'm sorry, go ahead. Joan.
what about the disciples of Christ? Are we getting anywhere on that one?
Nope. Go ahead, Amanda.
Actually, I may be able to get somewhere at the Converging Conference. They're going to have some leadership people there, and the person who's doing our October Saturday sharing coming up in a couple of weeks works at a Disciples of Christ church and has promised to introduce me to their leadership while I'm in Columbus at the Converging thing. So I can't promise anything, but it is plausible that something will come of that. I will certainly try.
Yeah, and that's what we've been waiting for. Since we're not getting any response from anybody, ADM, musicians group at all, we decide we'd wait and see what happens when this conference happens. Since it's at a Disciples of Christ church, and there will be all kinds of disciples people there, knowing that First Community is a combination church, is a collaborative church, that should be a great help. We do have some other people in the Disciples of Christ who know that our conference is coming, and know that there is that collaboration and want to attend next year's summer conference. So hopefully we can keep pushing this. But I tend to doubt whether we're going to get any financial support or organizational support from the disciples.
All we need is an email list of their members.
Well, right, and that's
That's
what we're
all we
hoping.
need. They don't have to do a thing.
Exactly. And that's what we'll be pushing for.
Good.
Now, Peter, go ahead. How
All
are you,
right,
Peter?
following up with the disciples. I don't know if the lady's name. I'm well, thank you. Been a wonderful day, Indigenous Peoples Day. I preached a great sermon. I contacted my old babysitter, whose mother was my second mother, who's Indigenous, and she's on the council of the Penobscot Nation. And I sent her my sermon. I said, rip it apart. I'm an old white man. I just want to do the right thing. And she just made 3 little changes, and it was awesome. Anyway, following through with the disciples, I don't know if that lady's name that I gave you, Eric, was helpful or not.
Oh, well, I emailed her and she did email back saying that she doesn't really have anything to do with it anymore and is not in good stead with the people who are in leadership right now. And she's kind of washed her hands of the whole thing. That's what I got from her.
All right, sounds familiar. All right, I think I'm doing very well. I haven't heard from any of the membership this month, and that's okay. Maybe everyone's in a really great place. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to write epiphanies. They're not the easiest thing for me to do, but I hope they've been helpful, and I'd like to keep doing it for a little while. And I really don't have anything else to say. Here at the Grand State of Maine, we had a killing frost. My dahlias went home to Jesus. I've got to dig the bulbs and wash them and pack them in the old pillowcases. So, and my sister's been visiting with the 2 grandnieces, and I've just had a great day. And I'm looking forward to going to sleep real soon.
Good, good for you. Thank you, Peter.
Welcome.
We're going to move to Amanda and let her say what she wants to say. Amanda.
Okay, so the Saturday sharing I did in September, I think went pretty well. There were a handful of people added. It's also been viewed right now 35 times on YouTube, which is not too bad for how recently that was. So I think that's great. The October Saturday sharing is set with Andra Moran from Convergence, who I will see this week. And then we're getting all that set up. The January 24th Saturday sharing, there isn't publicity yet because even though it is going to be about Then Let Us Sing, and I have Lydia Smith booked for that, but I don't know whether the other person from UC Canada is going to be in on that. And Peter, if you're going to be in on it, I still need a little blurb from you in a photo at some
We'll
point.
need a blurb and a photo, and I apologize. I need to get
It's
that.
okay. It's fine. I'm just letting you know. So we do have a couple of those. I will do another one in the spring as a follow up to the one I did. So we will have at least a few this year. As already mentioned, I am planning to use my time at the Convergence Music Project Conference, among other things, to once I get a hold of the postcards about our conference, I plan to pass those out. I plan to talk to the folks at the ADM table with support from Andra, who I think is going to introduce me to some of them. So I'm hopeful about that. I've written my second column for the newsletter and sent that to Joan, which takes some of the ideas from my Saturday sharing about diversity and justice and takes that a little further. And I now know what the next column will be, so that's all great. I think it is finally time for me in the next couple of days to look at the surveys that we sent out a while ago and just see if anyone has thoughts or suggestions or ideas about ways they might be supportive of the organization. So I will let you know once I've written something up and have a clear sense of that. I did look at the database of prior members and the information that was collected previously, and there was very little there, but I may go back to that as well. So that's sort of all in process. And then I have, I don't really have this settled yet, but I am actually in the process of discernment around my congregation is losing its pastor, and it may be about to call me as its transitional pastor. So that will be very interesting if that happens. It will not force me to leave the board here or anything, but it will be a major life change. So I ask for all your prayers and good wishes as that unfolds. And that is my report.
You certainly got our prayers and best wishes. How
Thank
did the
you.
meeting go today?
Oh, yes. So I had a 3-hour meeting with the transition team today. It went extremely well. I mean, I think they're going to call me. I don't know for sure. I will know probably within a few days. Again, at the moment, I don't see it interfering with my board duties here because I would basically leave the job I'm in and move to that job. So we will see. We'll see what happens. Thanks.
Okay.
Congratulations to you. Wow, that's amazing.
It is,
Absolutely.
it is. Donna,
Yeah, Amanda, could you just spell Lydia?
Oh, yes. ALYDIA. I think it's like Lydia with an A in front of it, and her last name is Smith. And I think it is Reverend Dr. Lydia Smith, if I'm remembering correctly, but I'm sorry, I don't have that in front of me this moment.
That is
And one of the other people who's on the core team connected to Then Let Us Sing in the United Church of Canada had at one point expressed interest in being on this Saturday sharing, and I contact him every so often and hear nothing. So it might just be Peter, Lydia, and myself, or it might be Peter, Lydia, myself, and a guy named Paul. But don't put his name in yet because I'm not sure. But she booked for January 24th. So we know that whatever else is happening, we will have it on January 24th.
excellent.
How about Andy Blosser? You have him signed up?
I don't yet. I was the reason I don't yet is I want to wait until kind of January and get his sense of which month makes the most strategic sense for him to talk about the conference. And he seems to have, I don't know if it's an intentional process or a slow process or sort of what about sort of collecting workshop ideas. I've sort of been hoping he would actually contact me in my member education role about, kinds of things that might be useful. And since he hasn't, I will reach out to him in the next month or two and try to A, get a sense of what he's thinking along those lines, and B, try to figure out what month he thinks is, again, the most strategic, knowing that January is taken, but no other spring month yet is taken. So that's why I don't have a date on him. I feel like I want to give him a little more time to get organized and then pester him.
Yeah, yeah. And he does respond eventually. And so the more pestering, the better. I've had to pester him a few times. It's okay. He doesn't seem to mind. We've come to Ashley in the agenda of things. Ashley, would you like to say anything?
Sure, I'd like to chime in. And first, I'd want to say that offer an apology to all of you because after taking on this role, there have been tremendous changes and stressors in my life. I don't know if Eric shared with you that my mom has throat cancer and my stepmother has stage 5 colon cancer and some other challenges in life. Moving offices for the second time, and right after I emailed you guys last month about missing the meeting because I was sick, my companion of 20 years, my dog, got sick, and I had to put her down 2 weeks ago. So, and in the meantime, we had our church retreat, and I've had to preach 4 times since the middle of August, and it's just I haven't had the bandwidth to be as attentive to the needs of this group as I would have liked to have been. So my apologies. And while I've been thinking a lot, and Eric and I had a wonderful conversation about approaches, of which he shared some of that with you. And maybe I can just share briefly with you that it has been was suggested to me when I first came around that this organization should be reaching out to the national office and those kinds of things. It's my perception that they are short-staffed and underfunded, and having a lot of people coming at them, seeking help and needs, and that they have not been very responsive to our outreach. Um, and so I suggested to him that it was perhaps a better approach to do a more grassroots approach and reaching out to through conferences and associations, and trying to build up membership and awareness of this group. I mean, I've been in the UCC as a music minister here in the San Francisco Bay Area for more than 20 years, and had not heard of UCMA until a year ago. And I've never, of all the people that I've talked to, I've never heard it come up. So raising awareness seems like a big, an important place to start. And so that's where I've been in my thinking and compiling data. I've been paying attention to the information that has been sent out, the addresses and the database. I mean, data that has been shared with everybody, and those are all really important. I have been saving them and compiling those in addition to my personal contacts. Um, but I just have not had the bandwidth to really be out there. So, with all of that said, I know that this is an important year with the conference coming up, and if I am in any way being a hindrance because of those things, then I would just ask that you let me know so that I can step aside if need be. Otherwise, I hope to be coming online soon and really delving into those things. So that's my report.
Well, we're just glad you're here, and you're not a hindrance in the least. We love having you around, and please remain. We like to see your smiling face.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
hoping to see more smiles.
Exactly. Well, and we know you've been through a lot, and may have a little bit more to go through. So our prayers are with you, and let us know how we can help in any way.
Thank you.
Um, yes,
Continuing to share those ideas and that information is really helpful. So.
excellent. Next on the list would be Annalise. Annalise, would you like to
Yeah.
talk?
Yeah, I'll be brief in the interest of time, since you've already kind of heard from me once tonight. We're on target for National Giving Day on December 2nd. I want to give a huge thank you to both Joan and Michelle for sending the names of some folks my way that I should talk to. There were 8 people in total that I've reached out to. I've already heard back from 3. I've given folks kind of a soft deadline of November 1st saying, hey, I want to start compiling your thoughts and things so that we can move forward to be ready for December 2nd, but everything is as it should be there. So again, shameless plug. If you think of people, send them my way, make the introduction. And in terms, I see, Eric, you also have a matching gift person question mark as a bullet point here. People really do respond to matches. So if you can think of anyone who has been supporting, who might have capacity to support, whatever the amount, we're starting out here and we're establishing. So every dollar helps. By all means, please let me know and make that introduction. For the spring campaign, I'm okay saying we don't need to decide today. That one is not landing on a specific giving day. So we have a little bit more flexibility. I think what I heard last time was please after Easter. Easter's early this year, so that's April 5th. So we will make sure that we do the bulk of the work after that time because I know that's a busy time. May is gala season, so I will be very busy. So I'm thinking that maybe we launch that sometime in late April, but just think on that and we will continue to make our plans around that. But that's what I'm thinking. If anybody can think of a good reason against or for, I'm open. You know the people and the congregations and the members better than I do. I think that is it from me.
Will there be specific materials for December at all, or?
What I'm thinking is what we were really successful with a couple years ago. I partnered heavily with Joan, so Joan, get excited. I think that we will model it after what we did. We'll work with Michelle as well to do an email campaign and get it on social. In fundraising, repetition works. So I think what we'll do is I'm planning for primarily a digital campaign. We could do a mailed letter if you think that that is a good idea. But if we're going to hit our membership, I would almost maybe rather this year look at what the digital does and then save resources and do some sort of membership letter in the spring, or whatever your timeline is for that, that then has maybe some language about sponsoring, or, don't forget you can make a charitable gift to UCMA and here's what that does. And Joan, I really do want to pick your brain more about those impact statements and like how we can make it real for people of what the costs of sustaining something wonderful like this really is. So that's my answer to that.
So would you be working with Michelle Hecht on social media stuff as well?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Michelle, Joan, and I were pretty tight when we did the last one, so I imagine it's going to look pretty much the same this go round.
That's a formidable crew. That's great. That's wonderful. Okay. I got an email. Thank you, Annalise. I got an email from Haley, who was not able to be here. She has three things that she wanted to mention. She has a new email address, that's haley.steele@ucma.org. But I will send this out to you. The second is about requests for journal material, authors and people to who would share their music and all that kind of thing. She does calls for submissions to groups of people and is not always getting back a lot of stuff. So I'll send that plea out to you as well. And then the third was a plea for anybody who thinks that that they would have a conference minister from one of our UCC conferences who might want to do the closing prayer in the December 1st posted journal. I can reach out to her for that. Because I've worked with some of these people before, but so I'll send the text of that email to you, and if you want to respond directly to her, you can. And if you need to change her email on your stuff, that'll be on that email as well. Okay? Excellent, thank you. And anytime you think you have anything that Haley can use as a journal kind of resource, that would be a wonderful thing. Before we go to Joan and Ed, I wanted to, of course, welcome Don back. How you doing, Don? It's great to see you. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
I'm doing excellent. Yeah, I'm doing really, really good. Those of you that recall, I began a new position in January for the Lakes Area Music Festival, and it's been really amazing, life-changing, and what a gift because I'm using everything I've ever done. Because for the first half of my adult career, I did music and promotion and concert series and all this kind of stuff, and then I did sales, marketing, development, and this and that. So this position is my whole life. I'm going back to the 80s with stuff I've used, to make this job work, and it's going really, really well. The only thing that I want to remind you, because I was part of the history, when we started the endowment fund, one of the visions we had was that there would be legacy gifts, meaning that people might think of us in their will, some big donations and legacy gifts through, people leaving us money that way and gifts that way, as also big corporations. And at that point, Eldana was our Minister of Sustainability, and that was kind of in her wheelhouse, in that position's wheelhouse. Let's not lose sight of that. I mean, we've got the National Giving Day, we got a spring campaign coming up. Let's not lose sight of the big picture. And I don't know who that lives with or what that looks like, but that's an untapped market as far as anything that I know that we've done historically. But those people are out there, and it's just a matter of us assigning the right person and finding the right connection to make that vision a reality. So that's my input.
Good. Well, thank you, Don.
Of course.
Appreciate it. Is there anything that you want to say, Ed or Joan, at this point?
Nope.
No, I was thinking if we just talk about the website at all tonight, I could do a brief tutorial on just some of the places where people would go for some of the things that have been made questions of. But I think since the meeting's kind of long now, we probably shouldn't do that now. But I'd be willing to share my screen on the website and give you some hints as to how to get around the website sometime.
I mean, you did that for me and it was a great help. Learning the admin view of a lot of these things and whether resources on that website for members and so forth. That was a wonderful help. So maybe if you have a need for that, Amanda might want to need to have that happen at some point. I don't know, as to contacting people or where people stand on certain things. So you can always contact Ed about that. That's a great idea. Thank you. Anything else before we? Well, I have these 5 bullet points here about things to work on, and it should be there should be the November meeting. Duh. I hate when I do that. So how to serve the membership better, what can be done to the website? Anyone that you know who would serve on the board, especially membership, okay? How to get more of your colleagues to join. I think now we really need to push membership and reach our goal. Who could we engage in your area conference to serve at a grassroots level? How can we do that? How can we make the grassroots thing work for us? So any of those kinds of things that you could address as board members would be greatly appreciated. If you want to send anything out to the full board or to specifically individual persons on the board, that would be a great help. We're always looking for grand ideas. So please remain in touch. Please communicate. But also, take some time for yourselves and breathe deeply. Because you deserve, you're hardworking, wonderful people, and you deserve the best. Enjoy your Halloween. I know that's a big celebration for a lot of us, and I'm not going to ask what you're going to dress up as, but I think it would be wonderful to meet sometime in costume and just kidding. Peter, would you like to close us out?
I would be so honored. And Ashley, I loved your opening prayer and thank you so much. It was really great.
Excellent.
It was deep.
My honor.
Let us pray. Oh, Holy Creator, as we thank you for our ACMA board meeting, we're filled with gratitude. You are the word behind all the worlds and the energy that sustains us. Thank you for the blessing us with the fullness of your presence and gifts, and thank you for guiding us to be doing what you're blessing and what you've called us to do. And thank you for this gathering as we depart. Keep us open to Jesus. Keep us open to Jesus. Keep us open to Jesus. Bless us as we depart with the power of your Holy Spirit in the name of the triune God. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. That was beautiful.
Thank you, saints of the UCCMA. Have a good time.
We're saints. Hooray!
You are saints of the UCCMA.
And now the saints going to bed. Good
Good night.
Good night.
When
Good
the saints
night.
go marching to bed.
sleep.
Thank you all. See you later.
Bye.